Overwatch Season 11 is here. On the main channel, I do all the ability comparisons and everything, but on this channel, what I'm going to do is read the patch notes and yap on my actual personal thoughts rather than just giving you like the comparisons right away. So we're going to cover both the main patch of the main game and cover the community crafted patch notes. We're going to skip the skin stuff. We're going to skip the community crafted and do that after. Hero Mastery's out for Soldier and Kiriko. Runasapi's a new Alari map. Yes, this map is bugged in custom game mode. Don't pick the Runasapi mode itself. Challenge update, weekly milestones, comp changes. Thank God you can actually view your progress now on the screen. And now let's begin with the major knockdown changes. Knockdown time when two charging abilities collide reduced from 2 to 1.7 seconds. So this is when collisions happen with the tie. So with Rhine, Charge, Doom Rocket Punch, Brig Bash, Mauga Overrun, and Bob colliding, the counterplane interaction of two charging abilities impacting each other is great, but it took players out of the fight a little too long, so this is just a reduction in the CC for both ends. It's neither a nerf or a buff because it really just depends on like where the position is. Like if I'm running to the backline and I get knocked down as a Rhine, like in the enemy's territory with 1v5, then getting knocked down longer used to be worse for me, so I'm not knocked down as long. But like in other cases, it could be great for a Brig because it buys them more time for the team. So it really depends on your perspective, but this is an interesting knockdown change. It doesn't really change too much. This is a pretty rare occurrence regardless. 1.7 seconds is still a very long time, so nothing to comment about that. Diva, a spread being reduced from 3.75 to 3.375 degrees. A tighter spread, you do more damage simply because less bullets will miss or less pellets will miss. And the impact from boosters from 15 to 25 is pretty negligible, but it might help certain burst combos. Whether this brings Diva from like the low B tier back to A tier, probably not, simply because armor changes in the mid-season 9 cycle of the game made it so Diva's pellets do way less. I don't think this will change too much. For Queen, they made the Jagged Blades, the knife, pull tanks further to help compensate for the knockback resistance passive for the tanks. So in mid-season 9, mid-season 10, excuse me, they made knockdown resistance go from 30% to 50%, which means she could not pull tanks anymore. So now they basically reverted it to kind of offset that. So tanks are pulled 5 to 6 meters instead of 3 meters. And Rampage startup time reduced from 0.75 to 0.5 seconds. It won't get hopefully canceled, or you can at least pop the ultimate off. That's actually a pretty good change. Let me go take a look at it again in game and just get a feel for it. Okay, so how far to like, this is 10 meters. Oh my God. I feel like the knife pull is usually already like 15 meters. 5 meters. If you ping this, you can see I'm 15 meters away from most squishy targets. It's like 7 meter pull, I guess. That's pretty good. But then now for tanks. Enemy here. So from here to here, I guess previously they would only move to here, so that's pretty nice. And the CASS time is pretty good.
Time for the reckoning.
Oh yeah, it goes way faster. Oh my God.
Time for the reckoning.
So if I drop,
Time for the reckoning.
if I round the corner and go for it.
Time for the reckoning. Time for the reckoning. Deliver out, Prometheus.
Very nice. Good Queen buffs. I think this is gonna put her like mid B tier, despite the fact that her shots don't do too much around on armor targets. Next, Orisa. Javelin spin cooldown reduced by 1 second. So the thing is, Orisa got so nerfed in like the mid-season 10 patch that like apparently she was the worst performing tank by far. Nobody really picked her anymore. This is pretty negligible because her cooldown cycle got gutted so bad because they made not only Javelin spin last longer, but Fortify lasted much shorter as well. So like there's always vulnerable periods in between her cooldowns. I don't think this is going to change her, and I don't think she's going to become meta off of this, okay? Roadhog getting nerfed, 50 HP. The base health, this is the non-roll Q HP, so he went from 800 to 750 as well. Take a breather damage reduction, reduced from 50 to 40%, so he's less tanky, simply because of the headshot reduction from the mid-season 10. This is pretty good. I don't think Roadhog was like high A tier, arguably S tier in ranked, A tier maybe in high level play, and then like, you know, was super annoying, but he's nerfed a little bit. I actually still think Roadhog is acceptable still because he still has a damage reduction from the headshot, so he's still net better than he was pre mid-season 10. I'd still put him in like high B tier if I had to guess off the rip. All right, Cassidy. I'm actually gonna argue that this is net nerfs rather than buffs, even though they changed the flashbang. So first of all, this is a net nerf. Fan the hammer reduced from 50 to 45 per bullet times 6. Used to do 300 damage when you popped everything. Now it's 270. Instead of doing 300 damage on a full fan the hammer, a lot of times you could like double fan the hammer a Winston bubble and it pretty much kills the whole thing, right? Because Winston bubble's what, 700, 600 HP? If a Winston jumps, fan, roll, fan, and it pretty much breaks it. Now it, you know, it requires some extra shots, which is pretty big. It doesn't, you know, completely kill a Reaper. Although arguably, because they made Flashbang 45 damage instantly up close, this is probably why they changed this. Because if you hindered previously, if you hindered them and it stuck to them, it would take time for it to pop if you fan the hammer. Now if you instantly pop a flash for 45 damage and fan the hammer, it still makes up for the 30 damage loss here. So it's still a nerf, but like it's probably done to compensate for the flashbang damage. Combat roll damage reduction, this is a net nerf, 75 to 50%. This means if you roll against, I don't know, a Junkrat tire, you actually die now, because Junkrat's rip tire is 600 damage, and there was a case where basically at 75% reduction on this pre-patch season 11, if the junk tried to detonate on you and you rolled, you lived. That's one of the big bursts I can think of. Like, I think for Diva Bomb, I'm not sure if you lived. No, Diva Bomb, you were never able to live anyways. It was pretty close though. But this is a buff to Junkrat matchup. Okay. And then Flashbang, going back to, or sorry, Magnetic Grenade going back to a Flashbang like it was in Overwatch 1. Hinders instead of stunning. And for some reason, they actually make your movement speed even slower. I don't think they even needed to do this. I think the idea that like, if they come up close, you get hindered for 1.2 seconds, that's already strong enough. Don't know if they needed to do this. Preventing crouching is interesting. Not like people were gonna spam crouch anyways, but 45 explosive damage instantly, but now a 12-second cooldown. That's a big one, because I think Mag Grenade was on an 8-second cooldown. Maybe not. But this is pretty long, but Flashbang's gonna be an interesting change here. It's actually more predictable. So I'm arguing this is a nerf because it's easier to play around it, because the throwing range doesn't chuck across the map and like snipe you around a corner for some damage and stuff. Was it 10 seconds? It's still a net nerf if I'm not mistaken. I don't believe it used to be 12 seconds. But this is actually easier to play around. Like if you're a tracer, one of the ways to outplay a CASS back in Overwatch 1 was to like blink forward, and when you anticipate the flash, you blink behind them and then blink back. So now you won't be cheesed as often. It's more predictable. So you actually have to respect the range. And then for Deadeye, the movement speed penalty now scales down over time from 70 to 35%. So you move faster the longer you hold the ultimate. Makes it better to like round the corner and go for a kill, but the longer you hold it, the less damage reduction you have. Down to 0%. Okay, so risk reward. This is a buff, this is a nerf to compensate. Let me look at it in game. Yep. Yep, respect the damage. And then for high noon, you hold the button, you start going way faster, so you can actually maybe peek around the corner in time. So you don't need the Lucio speed boost to help you. Like this, and you start sliding. Oh? Because the later you hold the high noon, the more damage the ramp up is, right? So like, even if you peek the corner late thanks to the speed, you actually get some amp damage, but you are super squishy. Yeah, with the Lucio speed boost, it will be very fast. So you're only down to a 35% movement penalty. You can be back to full speed. Your 35% penalty and Lucio amp speed boost will like what? Is like 60%? I'm not sure if it's additive or subtractive, so like minus 35 plus 25, so you're still gonna be 25% base faster. So May's getting some changes here where, or sorry, let me talk about CASS. I do think CASS is still going to be pretty strong because obviously his 140 headshot, a double headshot still hits the 280 HP breakpoint for the season 9 HP buffs they added. Everyone's 250 HP, and the burst from CASS still makes them high A, arguably still S tier. Flashbang's more predictable to play around, but also like a lot more threatening up close. So I still think he's a pretty damn good hero. May. So the icicle size is going to be reduced by 0.03 meters, the thickness, but the damage per icicle is going to go from 75 to 85. So if I headshot, what is that, 170? A single headshot, 170 into a follow-up body shot, because hitting back-to-back headshots is pretty damn hard. It used to be 150, 150, then sure, you're rewarded with it. But if I do one headshot into a body shot, 170 plus 85 is over 250, which kills. So that's like a pretty big buff to the breakpoint here in that case, right? This is more realistic. Or into a body shot plus headshot afterwards. So this is a pretty big buff for May. A little harder to hit, but like 0.03 meters. Thickness is, I mean, I'm sure it's still quite forgiving. So I think May It's gonna go from like a B tier niche hero in Brawl to like probably maybe pickable in some poke, right? Like that's still pretty thick. So like something like this, that's enough. Yep, headshot, body shot, already kills. I think Mei will be like maybe like a high B tier hero now. There's more cases to poke with her until you get into like the close range, slow neutral and Brawl. Pretty good. Reaper's pretty ass. I put him in D tier. Beforehand, let me read this. Hellfire shotgun weapon spread reduced from 6.5 to 6 degrees. Tighter spread makes him a little better. The cast time reduced for Shadow Step is 1.5 to 1.2 seconds, so you can flank a little bit better. The problem is Reaper just announces he's flanking, which is kind of bad. Like if he's trying to be sneaky and I'm like scoped in his Ana, I can hear like repositioning or from the shadows, or maybe you can't hear it as the enemy, but like he's too loud. He needs to shut up if he wants to be sneaky. So then you're stuck playing Tank Buster, but Tank Busting sucks. Even with this spread, the armor reduction makes shotgun weapons like Reaper lose a lot of value. Yeah, I'm flanking. Just gotta make him shut up, or just rework his kit simply because he's kind of been outdated. His kit maybe made sense in 2015, 2016, but the game's been out for 8 years. Kind of like how they evolved Ryan slowly a bit over time with cancelable charge and all that kind of stuff. They probably need to evolve Reaper a little bit. He has his like very small niches, but in general, I don't think he's very good. I think other heroes do his job better. If you're gonna sit there and tank bust and they're an armored tank, you might as well play something better at tank busting and being annoying at close range like Mei. And then if you're going to flank, just play Tracer. But if you suck at Tracer, maybe sure you TP and flank as Reaper. But yeah, I don't know. I still think Reaper's like D tier, even despite this change. Okay, Sojourn's a really interesting one, guys. Sojourn's rail shot going from 30 to 130 minimum to 1 to 100 is a big nerf to individual targeted people, right? Getting a random full charge and then getting a 1.5x headshot to 150 isn't that much damage. So this is a very, very big nerf. With headshot, this should do 195, right? Because it's 1.5x. 195 down to 150. And the lower amount, the bottom amount is really low too. But they compensated it by making it no longer require overclock to pierce. So now your railgun shot will always pierce enemies if they're clumped. But like the cases where you pick out a single target is a higher frequency than getting lucky and hoping they all clump up for like a pierced rail shot. And imagine this, like you're double piercing 2 people. 100, 100, it's 200 raw damage versus previously a single headshot would be, you know, 195. Obviously, if you double, it's so rare to double headshot pierce simply because head hitbox is not all going to be at the same height for clumped enemies. And like when you have different distances, the perspective of the heights of your head is going to change too. So the double doinking through a rail, not going to happen. So like this is a big net nerf, even if they allow you to pierce for rail shots, to make it less frustrating to, you know, just have the Sojourn charge off a tank and then just doink someone for free. Primary fire shots per second though increase from 14 to 16, so like the SMG fires a lot quicker. That's a big DPS increase there. But the primary fire shots, I mean, that's not even like that big of a deal. This will probably simplify it a lot for lower ranks, simply because lower rank players, like Sojourn always had a terrible win rate in metal ranks simply because a lot of them just missed the rail shot outright. But if they make the SMG more reliable, then it probably increases the metal rank win rate, but lowers the high GM, like, you know, high skill Sojourn win rate. So they're bridging the gap, I assume. But like, yeah, it's not a terrible change. Like, I'm fine with Sojourn not being giga meta because I think Sojourn's super annoying to play against. I mean, hitting multiple people with rail is still good value. Doesn't need to be a headshot. Yeah, but like, I'm just saying the chances of that happening is still much lower. But they're going to make the energy charge rate for overclock even better. I mean, overclock's always been pretty good, but the fact that overclock is going to do less base damage the whole time is probably something they're considering. That's why they make the energy charge faster, to make up for the damage loss, so at least you can rail more often, and the onus is on you to hit the shot versus having a strong shot. Overall, probably gonna bring Sojourn from the high, like S and high A tier, down to maybe like average B tier for high ranks. Like, it's not bad, so I don't know. 3 buffs, 1 nerf, I don't know. It's still a net nerf in more cases. Like, if we look at the raw quantity of buffs versus nerfs, yeah, you can say it's 3 buffs versus 1 nerf, but like, this is more valuable. This outweighs and outpaces the chances of the Pierce. I mean, I'm just yapping overall, but like, yeah. Okay, Symmetra. I still think Symmetra's gonna be a niche hero. They are bringing her HP from 250 to 275. 275 is pretty damn big. Cassidy at 275. Cass doesn't even need to be at 275, man. Cass can be, actually, did they bring him back down to 250? Maybe they did. I don't even remember at this point. But bringing your HP up to improve your durability and tankiness while also increasing the charge rate, I mean, there's some cases where this could actually be pretty good. This is probably the optimal playstyle. The poking sentry setup sim is going to be inferior by far. It's been inferior since season 9. Everybody at 250 HP and Symmetra doing 100 per charge shot means you have to hit 3 to kill somebody. Like previously it allowed you to 2-tap them, but now the fact that it requires 3, like you generally just, the secondary fire is there just to like fill in the neutral time and just poke for a bit. But your goal now should genuinely be to get up in their face and charge your shit up as fast as you can. They're backpedaling. Yeah, they removed the 225 HP. They didn't want her to be close range, probably because she's been ass and she didn't have like a niche because like she does 5 separate things at an average level or below average level, so she couldn't find a spot besides like specifically Lijiang or very specific control maps with very specific Sigmas or Rhines or some shield comps that she could charge up on. But this will make them more lethal. Maybe she is actually going to be like useful in more cases on a lot more control areas and a lot, especially on brawl comps. So I don't know. Maybe this is actually better than I think it is. 25% charge rate. Like, let me see how this feels on paper. Here, let me see. Oh, that's fast. Okay, that on whoa, wait a minute. Wow, wait a minute. That feels way faster than it looks on. Holy shit. Because 25% times 3 times, because you have to charge it 3 ticks. 25% on each, mathematically. Wait, that's actually fast as fuck. And this is Azari. Wow. Wait a minute. Maybe Symmetra's way better than I give her credit for. All right, I'm gonna go on a limb and say she's like B tier. This is actually really good, and she's tankier. Holy. If you build a comp around this with speed, Lucio, maybe even like a Queen Brawl, somebody can pull that out and just get her in and close the gap. If you don't have a Lucio speed, you just Queen shout them in. Give the shout over health, and then Sim gets 375 with the shout, or no, sorry, 325, and you just charge up super quick. I'll say B tier off the rip, but we'll have to wait and see. Let me know once you guys play her a little bit today and the next few days. Okay, for supports, they're basically making Illari less of a like a solo flanker. The outburst, like this is the movement ability, damage increase from 10 to 25. That's negligible. You never really ever did this for the damage anyways. You would just do this to escape, so this is negligible. Healing pylon increase from 30 to 40 is pretty big if you want to pylon and play with your team specifically. So while you're waiting to find a spot to like, you know, camp up and go for an off angle, this is kind of nice. But the pylon healing is only half as effective when like healing herself. Plus the DPS passive that gets nerfed down to like 15 or 16 per second with 20% DPS passive because it's cut in half. So you get 20 per pump. That's pretty bad if you play on your own now. So they're really trying to encourage Illari to not be as strong as a solo flanker on an off angle with the pylon being her pocket, which is interesting because I feel like that's what makes her good. It's like a support that can do that role. So if this is forcing her to kind of play with the team a little bit more, I mean, wouldn't you rather just play another hero that pokes similarly, like a Kiri, like a Zen, like a Bap? Although Kiri did get nerfed, so maybe this is like, she'll find her niche still. And the pylon's gonna have 125 HP. I don't think this changes her placement. I think I put Illari B tier still. She's actually like not that bad. The biggest thing for me is the reason why I think Illari is still pretty good is since the mid-season 9 changes where the armor got changed, the armor change helped Illari because she's a high headshot burst hero, and the headshot damage reduction didn't hurt her at all because the 25% tank damage reduction doesn't affect Illari because she already has a low headshot multiplier from 72 to 112. And then you -5 it on armor, so she does 107.5 for headshots. Obviously, like bad players weren't headshotting consistently anyways, but this still makes Illari acceptable, so I still think she's B. In any case, KarQ, final hero, getting changed here. Swift step cooldown increased from 7 to 8 seconds, and Protection Suzu no longer cleanses hard knockdown stuns with the exception of Anna's Sleep Dart effect. This is pretty damn big This is another Rhine buff and Doom buff. Well, mostly Rhine buff because of Earth Shatter. Very rarely do you knock someone down for in Doom and the collision stuff, but this is a Rhine buff since you can no longer bring them back up for it. And the Swift Step cooldown, like 8 seconds is still pretty damn fast. I've argued that you can actually put Swift Step to 10 seconds. I'm a KarQ main, but I still think Swift Step is the best part of her kit. People, like the easy part is Suzu, but the fact that you can teleport to someone every 7 seconds and Suzu them, it's the combination that makes it super annoying and you can save someone. And the fact I can take any angle I want super aggressively and just TP out for free because like it's a 7-second cooldown. And I can respawn on so many maps and just teleport across the map. Like, I've always thought Swift Step was what made KarQ like way too good. She's too safe. Oh, so it's not going to cleanse countercharge since it's only laying on the ground, but it only cleanses when stunned. Well, technically you're stunned on the collision. The sleep dart, they wrote Suzu specifically, but like I'll have to test the other interactions and we'll put that in the Mythbuster. Does it work on the Sigma Rock? That's a great question. That is something I'll test on the Mythbuster. I would assume it would get rid of the knockdown it would no longer get rid of the knockdown on the rock. But by the time you lay on the ground, I guess it wakes you up a little bit quicker. Sure. Countercharge just says knockdown without stun. So this is only Rhine then? So yes, you have to pre-Suzu Shatter. You can't Suzu after the fact. Yeah, this will have to be Mythbusted. I'm actually not sure how this interaction works. It's not that big of a deal in Sigma because by the time you Suzu, you're already woken up. The big thing is with Rhine, because since you're knocked down for so long, he gets follow-up swings and fire strikes. Because the knockdown on the ground is like, what, 2 or 3 seconds? That's very long. Okay, and that's it for the main patch. We have the comparisons of the glass being removed for Colosseo. Very nice. Before and afters. Oh yeah. Big open area here. Push maps getting changed. Robot speed's going to be increased by 10% when pushing the barricade for both quick play and comp. Runasapi will be out on day 1. And interesting, I read this bug fix here. Charge now correctly damages Ice Wall and Tree of Life. So are you saying if a Rhine charges into an Ice Wall, it does 200 whatever damage? That's something I need to test too. What the hell is this? And what happens if you pick somebody up while you're charging and you collide with them? What does that mean? All right, and that's the main patch. I yapped for a damn long time, but I'm gonna yap even longer because there's a second mode that people were like, where's the patch notes? This is the arcade mode for the creator arcade mode, where we have a fun way to play heroes designed by some content creators, Emong, TQQ, Kassa, and SK. You can find it in the arcade 5v5 roll lock rule set, available from now, June 20th till July 8th. Play 48 games with wins granting double progress to get the Aztec Sombra. Wow. Let's see what the creators cooked. First, D.Va Defense Matrix now reduces beam damage by 30%, so it plays better into the sim changes, I guess, and it plays better into the Zarya. It now reduces the cooldown of micro missiles based on the amount of damage absorbed. Wow, that's a big buff. If you absorb a lot of things, you get your micro missiles back immediately. Boosters being able to strafe sideways and backwards. This was included in the April Fool's change. This is a very nice, it feels very good for D.Va players to be able to move omnidirectionally. Not omni, omni means 8. Or I guess, can you move 8 ways or can you only move 4 ways? Let me see.
Time to save the world?
You can move omnidirectionally. Hand cannon, projectile speed increased from 80 to 160, so that shit goes super fast. The amount of damage required to mitigate to get a rocket punch while you power block has been reduced, so you take less damage and you pretty much get powered punch pretty often. Shockwave height for seismic slam increased, so you could probably seismic slam on top of payloads now. Doom's pretty whatever. It feels like Emong did the tank changes, right? This seems like these are like real balance changes he's looking for. Some people cooked a little too hard. This is supposed to be a fun arcade mode, but we'll see. Meteor Strike now scales the longer Doomfist is in the air. Base damage is 50 and it scales up, so the longer you wait, the more damage you do. Junker Queen now gives Queen armor instead of overhealth. That makes her super durable. Cast time reduced from 0.75 to 0.375. So actually on the live patch, it's already at 0.5 seconds. So it went from 0.5 to 0.375, so it's even quicker. That, I want to see how it looks. Yep, so I press this. I got 675 armor. Let's see how fast this is. I don't even say time for the Reckoning, because it's just so goddamn fast. So that gives everybody armor too. Time for Olympus. Not Reckoning, it's time to go back to Olympus, my friends. Mauga's Overrun. Overrun is just basically, it's only one change. It just makes Overrun good all the way through. Radius increasing from 7 to 9. Crit damage going from 120 to 180 if you step on their face. And the radius increased. Okay, I'm not gonna show that. Orissa's Halt is back like it is in Overwatch 1. Ability activated by pressing reload. Launch a Graviton Surge with reload and then detonate it with reload. The sphere pulls people. Cooldown for Energy Javelin and the Javelin Spin is gonna be nerfed to compensate for the fact that she has a brand new ability. They bounded on reload because Orisa doesn't reload, right? Because she's an overheating hero. So they needed a button available for console players. So if I press reload, oh my God, look, wait, it's, oh my God, wait, the particle effect looks way better than Overwatch 1's version. It's real. You can finally experience Overwatch 1 for all the new Overwatch 2 players. Holy shit. I don't have any targets to like use right now, but it looks cleaner. Wow. Okay, Ramatra's Void Accelerator, so his Omnic form, the size will be bigger. The vortex height will be doubled. Increasing by 100% basically means it's doubled, so maybe it pulls down actual flyers now. Or maybe my particle effect was based on the mythic. You might be right, actually. Interesting. Blizzard trying to buff Orisa challenge. This is the fun arcade mode, Panther, and this was made by Emong, not Blizzard. Okay, Rhine. Actually, genuine Rhine ideas that could be cooking here. Provides Rhine a bonus movement speed based on its missing health. Missing health on not Rhine, but his specific shield. The less HP his shield has, the faster he runs. Capped up to 50%. That's huge. Fire Strike, after hitting an enemy, he gains 30% movement speed. So this is basically trying to remove Ryan's weakness of being able to gap close. If you do your job by hitting Fire Strikes and blocking damage, you actually move quicker. And if you charge at people, it now gives you damage reduction. Kind of similar to like, what's it called? When Mauga overruns at you, he has damage reduction. This gives Ryan damage reduction when he charges because he's super squishy, but 50% is a lot, but he's still CCable, like with Sleep Dart and stuff. Roadhog, Chain Hook, no longer pulls targets towards Roadhog and now pulls Hog to the enemy or environment. Damage reduction reduced by 50% to 30%, now gives nearby allies 10% damage reduction while being used. And it pulls enemies towards Hog when activated. What the hell? He's Nautilus, dude. Oh my God. What the fuck? Okay, you don't, it's not like Widow's Grapple though. Oh wait, it kind of is. I try to jump at the end here. Okay, Sigma. Experimental Barrier Shield regens a little quicker. You can cancel Grasp again. Absorbing it no longer provides overhealth, so it's no longer a fixed time, so it gives you more agency here. Absorbing damage no longer provides overhealth, but instead reduces the cooldown of your rock. Flux can no longer be interrupted. This is like how it was on Sigma's release. Like, even if you pick somebody up and you got slept, like, it would still finish. Okay, but I mean, everybody else all the tanks got giga buffs, so like this is fine, relatively speaking. Tesla Cannon's secondary fire can now be channeled even further, so it's no longer limited by range. And after a second, charge for another 2 seconds to double. Wow, increase the damage even further. Holy crap. Overall, channel time increase from 2.5 to 4.5, so if you wait a little longer, you do get a little bit more time. Barrier projector, so the size of the bubble is going to be doubled from 5 to 7 meters. Let me see this. This is easy to see.
A better world is possible.
Okay, when you actually like look at it, that shit looks massive. What the fuck? 5 to 7 meters on paper doesn't really intuitively show you how big this shit is. And if you prop primal, it makes one, right? Yep. That shit's huge. So I can leap in, bubble, and then pop primal to get a second bubble. It's kind of big. Pile Driver now gets a free cast after impacting an enemy hero, which does not require being in the air. So you can now just press. So if you actually pile drive a person, you get another free pile drive. It doesn't require you to actually go off high ground. So you pile drive and you pile drive again. You just double pile drive. Mind radius is going to be increased by 50% as well. Okay. And then for Zarya's projected barrier, now also provides allies with 30% increased movement speed. Dude, this is Heroes of the Storm. If anybody here plays Hot, I love Zarya and Hot. You get to spec into whether you give your allies like, you know, more movement speed or whatever if you bubble them. That's cool. And Graviton Surge actually absorbs projectiles now. It's basically a floating Sigma suck. And it eats Baptiste's immortality field immediately. That's cool. Yes, this is the creator test notes, but this is not, it's less about testing certain concepts and definitely some of these feel like they're like, these Rhine changes feel like they could actually work in the real game, but half of these are just like for fun, wacky changes. Like April Fools, where this is just a, you know, throw shit at the wall and see what sticks kind of moment here. Okay, Ashe. Dynamite, being able to detonate it again by pressing the same ability, and Bob. That actually seems kind of nice. Without having to like... I mean, it doesn't really change anything if you're already a good Ashe, because you're able to actually hit the follow-up shot. Maybe if they hold a Matrix over you. Sure, if I throw a Dynamite and it's like a Winston bubbles and it's inside, I can at least press the button again and it pops it. The reason why I threw another one is because I have no cooldowns on, so it forces me to throw another one. If I throw Bob and I press it again, it stops him. Okay. But Dynamite changes are pretty much guaranteed damage now. If I just chuck it, you don't have to hit the follow-up shot. Okay. Pretty big buff for her here. Bastion now explodes for 300 damage if he dies. Rate of fire for configuration recon, that's his default form, increase. Tactical grenade is replaced by self-repair, so it's Overwatch 1. This is his actual turret form. Big 25% nerf to damage, but it now can crit, so if you aim pretty well. Well, if you do that, you can aim to headshot them at the same time. That's a good point. You don't have to shoot the Dynamite and then re-aim at them. So big burst for Ashe. Okay, Cassidy. Okay, combat roll now launches you forward in whatever direction you're facing, and it now cleanses negative effects, heals you, and distance increase. I need to see what this looks like.
Someone needs to fill this saddle.
What the? Oh, it always goes... You have to look this way. Oh my god, you go high ground. Oh, I see. Okay, so I can't roll backwards. I can't side roll. I always roll forward. But if I look up, I go high ground. Interesting cast changes. Reaper's Wraith form now acts like Moira. Fade can be activated during Death Blossom, so you're invulnerable, and it deals 50 damage if you pass through them. Reaping passive heals 50 additional overhealth. So you're telling me this is basically guaranteed Death Blossom. Or at least allows you to, or if you disappear, it's kind of like Moira Coalescence, where like you disappear and the Coalescence goes with you. So if you do fade, I assume you don't wraith, you don't shoot anymore, or do you?
You can't escape death.
What the hell am I looking at? Okay, what else do they have here? Rail shot, primary fire projectile speed increased doubled basically, but the damage itself nerfed. Power slide now only launches you forward in the direction you're facing, and you can travel upwards. Whoa. Will the madness stop?
We're in this together.
What in the hell? Okay. Can you still jump after that? No, I don't think you can jump. It only launches you in the forward direction you're facing. Sojourn is just straight up Superman, right? Another 10 minutes? Oh, you can jump at the end. I lied. You can jump, you can jump. Okay, power slide, sprint. Movement speed increased from soldier from 50 to 80, so you sprint a lot longer. Biotic field can be yeeted now. While you visor, you move faster, and it gives you unlimited ammo. God, wait, how fast do you go? So it goes up to 80%, the longer you sprint. Let me yeet this really quick.
Heals coming up.
What the fuck? That does not match the animation at all. Bro, how the hell am I supposed to aim this? Me, after a night of drinking, trying to aim at the toilet. What the hell is this?
Fields online.
Okay, I'm gonna try to imagine it like a shitty Ananade. I'm bouncing it off the floor. Yeah, sure. What is this? Everything else here is pretty, I don't need to show. Projectile speed of a translocator goes faster for Sombra. Stealth, detection radius increased from 4 to 20. Radius ring visual effect removed. Player outline removed. Bonus movement speed doubled. Wait, being detected for 20 meters is a massive nerf though. Like what? You move faster, but like still, holy cow. Wait, I'm basically, I can't even see the end of the ring, by the way. The 100% movement speed is nice to maneuver, but like, yeah, you'd have to go cover to cover, I guess. I wonder if the enemy just keeps seeing like, you know, enemy detected. Oh, the ring got removed. Oh, sorry, they did say the VFX thing got removed. Was Custa cooking? Everyone can see her at this point, right? Tracer, HP going down from 175 to 150. 25 HP, okay. but they're making the spread worse. So her pistols suck way more. You lose 25 HP, but the pulse bomb is like 6 times faster or more. Blink cooldown way less and cooldown way less. So you just are zipping around the map, I guess. Let me look at this pulse bomb really quick.
Cheers, love. It's time to save the world.
Okay, what the hell? This is worse than Soldier's Yeet, or stronger than Soldier's Yeet. Oh, look, there's a poor tank there. Ramp. Widowmaker Venom Mine projectile speed increased 20 to 40 meter. This is so whatever. Who cares? You usually look down and put it on the ground anyways. This is such a weird change for Widowmaker. Scope shots now deal damage over a second instead of it being instant, so you spread the damage. This is like Death's Defiance from TFT, spreading the damage. This is like bad. Critical damage deals it in half the time, so it's across half a second. This is just don't even play Widow in this mode. Oh, wait, dots are better against armor? Oh, wait, that's something I didn't think about. True. This basically is a way to ignore armor. I guess it's only good when you snipe tanks. But like, you're usually trying to one-shot squishies in the back anyways. No, dots are not worse against armor. So with the armor changes in mid-season 10, dots ignored armor now. So Ana does full 70 damage instead of like 49 pre-patch. Oh, dots have an exception because damage over time is usually small instances of damage. They made it so it doesn't get -5 per tick. Interesting change, but like really realistically, who else has armor that's not a tank? Bastion, Torb, Brig. But this is still a nerf. I don't even know if I would play Widow in this mode. Seems like ass. Okay, projectile damage by Custa. Duplicate being able to target an ally, but then you don't build your ultimate as quick. Gives you more agency, but echoes whatever. Dragon Blade, cast time reduced from 1 to 0.5 seconds, but swing speed is gonna be up. This is a nerf. It means you swing slower, but it now heals Genji. But at least you pull your blade out a little bit quicker, I guess. Let me see what that looks like. Wow. The swing speed at 0.9 doesn't even actually feel that bad. Okay, it does. After you dash, you can feel it. Stormbow. Recovery reduced from 0.5 to 0.25 means you can pull each arrow way faster. Draw time cut like crazy, but you now have 10 ammo, but the damage is cut. I need to see what this looks like. Oh my. Oh my. So I'm just spamming 70 damage chunks right now. I'm basically Cassidy without the headshotting. Projectile Cassidy. Is that even better? I don't know, probably not. Probably because previously if you charge a full 120 arrow and then he followed up with a storm arrow. But scatter arrow's back. Oh shit. Emphasize Genji as a projectile hero, but the only non-projectile change to the kit. Oh, true. Well, they're projectile, I mean, they're categorized as a projectile hero, but yeah, they just do everything but the projectile. Same with Echo, though. Stormbow is massively different. Scatter arrow is back. Scatter damage, 130 impact, 50 per split arrow. I have to see what the math, it probably still one-shots up close. Okay, Junkrat projectile speed is increased from 25 to 35 meters, so it goes way faster. This Riptire change is interesting on paper. I have to look at it in-game. You no longer control Riptire in first person, detonated by pressing the ability again. You don't roll the tire around for 10 seconds, only 1.5 seconds. Movement speed is doubled. Explosion damage is nerfed. Radius is nerfed, and it ignites them for damage over time. So you use this as like an additional DPS button. I mean, 300 is still enough to kill most people, but like, still. Are you trying to encourage people to like rip the tire in front of their face or what?
Plenty of bombs to go around.
Oh, you can no longer control in first person, so you just let it rip in front of you. So if I'm behind a Reinhardt, and Ryan's like holding shield, and I just decide to rip a tire in front of him, and it just shoots in a straight line. It's so weird. Doesn't this get easily cancelable since you can't control the tire? Well, I guess, because I can't hide around a corner and do it. Because it just won't go anywhere. It goes in a straight line because I can't control it anymore. So I can't rip it here. It doesn't even do as much damage too. So you have to use it mid-fight in front of people. So you have to ult in the open and you're locked in an animation where you can't do anything. It ignites damage, it's like a DPS button, but the fact, if it just shot out of me without the fire and the whole animation, then sure, it's pretty good, but if it explodes with the ult button, you can shoot and tire at the same time. Yeah, for like 1 second.
Fire in the hole!
Yeah, I don't know if I like that one. Custa did not cook with this one. I'll be real with you. If you use it with someone on you, you die instantly. Exactly, because like you sit still there. You just get cooked. You just die. Okay, the biggest change here from Mei is that she's actually Frozone from The Incredibles. Freezing the ground now increases her movement speed if she walks over it. Thank God. Blizzard effect is now centered around Mei and it roots them instead of stunning. Oh my God, Frozone. Frozone. Okay, 20% doesn't feel that fast, man. It could be faster. Bro, I'm skating. Make me go like 50% faster. Honey, where is my super suit? And then if I pop Blizzard, it starts, it follows me. It follows me. When I first read it, I thought it'll like start from Mei, and then if I move, it'll just like instead of me throwing a projectile, it like automatically comes out of me, but it stays in that spot, but it follows. Okay. Pharah, rocket launcher gives overhealth. I don't need to show that. Jump jet, jet dash can be activated during barrage. Okay. Teleporter now forcibly teleports players if they touch it. You can actually troll people so hard with this. Oh my God. Duration reduced from 10 to 5 seconds. Sentry turret no longer tracks enemies, but now fires a beam the whole time at 80 DPS and it slows them. I need to see this one. Some of you guys like Pharah, but like, you know, some of you just get overhealth. I want to see the more wackier changes. So this is just, oh, what in the hell? Someone's gonna make a custom game mode called The Matrix. Da-na-na. Hoi. 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 It's so weird to set up though. Someone's gonna make an escape room, right? But like the thing is, if it goes like angled a little weirdly, then it'll automatically shoot the straight line based on where it's looking. So if you misplace it, yeah, you don't set it up over the walls like this. You actually have to set it up like I want to set it up to block this like a tripwire from Cypher, like from Valorant, but like, oh, come on.
Positioning turret.
What the hell is this angle? Oh, because it latched here. All right. If they pass a corner, can I like angle it so it just shoots a straight line? Oh, it's limited by range. If I'm hugging this corner like this, I would have to swing this way to break them. I mean, which is doable. But if I want to touch the point, I gotta fucking. I mean, that's kind of cool, but like not really practical in person. I think this should just go into straight. I think it should be doubled in length. This shit ain't long enough, man. Can you put it above the door facing down? Ooh. Yeah, but like, see how awkward it is sometimes? Like, because it's super based on the map environment. If I want to do this, making it look down, no, I don't think so, because when you set it,
distributing turrets.
There might, oh, like this. But like, what the fuck does this do? Okay, it's like, hey, do you want to go outside? You ever see those shows or those, it was like that moment in like Paper Mario where like they're captured behind like a cage and it's like, dude, you're a tiny little bean. You can just walk through the cage. Or in those Disney movies where like, help, I'm stuck, I'm trapped by this giant. But like they can just squeeze through the railings. How do you work if you place it through TP to TP bomb? Remember, if you just touch it now, you teleport, by the way, it's forced.
Sentry in position.
Oh yeah, just go straight there.
Teleporter materialized. Positioning turret.
Torbjorn now upgrades to level 3 while Overload is active. Did you guys realize so many of these changes? The Orisa Halt, Scatter Arrow, Torbjorn going to level 3. These are all Overwatch 1, like 27, like old Overwatch 1 changes. This is an Overwatch 1 patch for this arcade mode. That's funny. Tectonic Shock, Venture seems just nerfed. The duration of it, well, you can hold it longer, but it has fall off damage now. So near the end of it, it fizzles out. It's Nostalgia Watch. All right, support changes. Ana has Exo Boot, so Ana can jump to high ground. Reload time reduced. Exo Boots now grants increased movement speed in the air for Baptiste. Let me see what that looks like. Does that mean I can air strafe a little better? So yes, Ana
I will not
now has
leave
jumps.
a broken world behind.
Holy, I'm playing Ana in this mode. And my reload's faster. Ooh, I can jump over and nano somebody like this. Go for some crazy sleeps. Better control of BAP in the air though. What does this look like?
Another day, another battle.
Oh. Holy, increased movement speed in the air means... Dude, you can crank a 90 mid-air. The increased movement speed also gives you like longer aerial time, so like you can... Yeah, you can go over areas as needed. God damn! Briggs Shield Bash now grants movement for 30% after it ends. Briggs icon on your HUD now shows when you're being healed by Inspire. Why isn't this just here by default? Why is this a creator change? Well, SK suggested like, let's add this to the game. They're like, sure. So if this looks good, just add it permanently. Anyways, Healing Pylon now has 2 charges. Healing reduced from 30 to 20 per shot, but you have 2 charges. Leave 1 for your team and use 1 for yourself. Cool. Life Weaver damage projectile went up, so you can actually DPS as Life Weaver, and the weapon swap speed got doubled. 2 charges of pedal platform. Let me see. This doesn't even feel that different. I mean, it's double, but it's double like a low number. Okay, that doesn't feel that different at all, but 2 platforms is cool. So if I take 1 and I press to remove, you can't stack 2, remember. If you try to put 1 platform on another, they bounce off. Lucio. Alright, this is such an SK thing to just literally damage, just buff his green, or Lucio's green Oreos for 22 instead of 18 per green Oreo. Now provides overhealth based on the fall time, scaling up to 100% overhealth if falling for more than 1 second. So a high to low ground beat, if you can pull it off, gets rewarded for giving you more overhealth. That's pretty cool. Swift Step now can be used when no allies targeted. When you do it this way, a directional teleport happens and you have half a cooldown.
What's that? I'll find my own path.
Oh my. What in the 4th Hokage?
Guys over.
Oh, it collides with walls though. It just goes in your direction. So you can choose a teammate. Wait, it does go through walls. Oh no,
Kaguya.
that's because I was looking here. Teleports behind you.
I'm with you.
I can't teleport to the air, but it literally sent me backwards. That doesn't sound right. It should have just like made, if I can't look into the air, it should have just pushed. I think it like made me bounce off the wall. I know it's horizontal, but I looked up and it sent me behind. What was that?
Kaguya.
I didn't go back. I did not hold S. I just... All right, whatever. It's an arcade mode. Okay, Mercy GA. Okay, shorter. This one's really interesting for res. Faster res, 1 second. Cooldown reduced a lot, but the resurrected allies only temporarily alive for 10 seconds. After the 10 seconds, do they instantly respawn, or do they have to wait another 10 seconds for your death timer? Or is it once they're temporarily alive for 10 seconds, then once the 10 seconds is over? Like, what if I'm about to spawn? Like, I waited a default res timer, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, Mercy's resing me? Okay. And then I get resed, I fight for 10 seconds, and the 10 seconds end, and then am I stuck on another 10-second cooldown? Probably not. It should be instant to make it balanced. But I mean, what's balanced about this arcade mode? Not this. Valkyrie now resets res, okay. Biotic Field now deals crit damage to enemies while aiming at their head to reward good tracking, okay. And she could res you again. No, then you can't. If you instantly spawn after this, then she can't double res by resing you once, popping Valk, and doing it again. And Zenyatta now grants Zen full flight while transcending. Snap Kick no longer knocks enemies back. If he hits the environment, he will knock himself back.
Spirit amid discord, we will find triumph.
Okay. Oh my god. Can I do one of these? Oh no, because I can't charge my secondary fire. That's an interesting way to create some distance. Instead of relying on hitting somebody, can you do it off the ground? Oh my god, you can! Wait. Surprise, motherfucker. Wait, good call. I'm gonna be shooting this and then just do this and accidentally fall off the map. But if I do, like let's say I'm fighting and I accidentally hit this, I'm like, oh shit, just kidding. Some of these didn't like, that one looks one of the more funner ones. Okay, and that's it for the arcade patch notes. Got a big patch. This mode seems fun for 2 weeks. I got more excited all of a sudden because this is gonna take a lot of our time and we're gonna play a lot of video games this season, so yeah.